So the big film opening this weekend is a comedy, or a supposed comedy, called Life of the Party. It's directed by Ben Falcone, who's the real-life husband of Melissa McCarthy, who worked with his wife Melissa on previous films The Boss and Tammy. Melissa McCarthy this time around, she plays this sort of wholesome, prudish woman, mom, who decides to return to college after her husband, played by Matt Walsh from Veep, abruptly asks her for a divorce. The problem is that it's the same college that her daughter's going to, played by Molly Gordon, who is in a sorority and in her senior year. So as you can expect, you know, they party together, they get into obnoxious trouble, you know, she's outdated, all of the normal tropes that you would kind of expect in a lazy comedy like this. And that's really the word that I took away from this, is just lazy. It's also just, it's painful, guys. It is painfully unfunny. I was watching this film with my wife in the theater, and like 30 minutes in, there wasn't even like a smile. Now it does pick up. There's one scene late in the film that actually makes the film maybe worth seeing in some ways, but Melissa McCarthy has to give like a public speech in front of her class. And she's brilliant in the scene, and it just shows you kind of her talent. You know, Melissa McCarthy is a talented comedian. This is just not the vehicle for her. There's a completely implausible romance between Melissa McCarthy and a young student named Jack, who's played by Luke Benward. Maya Rudolph does show up as Melissa McCarthy's best friend. She does provide some laughs. It raises the material ever so slightly. But everybody involved in this movie deserves better, especially the audience deserves better. This is just not a good movie overall. I'm sad to say that I give this film a D-, very big letdown, but go see it anyway. You might like it. From an unfunny comedy to an unintentionally funny thriller, the new film Breaking In will have you laughing at the most inappropriate of times.
This place is a fortress.
I guess some people get paranoid in their old age.
This one's directed by James McTeague, who did V for Vendetta, a film that I love based on a comic book that I loved. But he's also capable of movies such as Ninja Assassin. He tries here, but just fails to produce a thrilling action movie involving a mom trying to protect her kids after a break-in goes bad. Gabrielle Union plays the badass mom, really. Up-and-coming actress Agiona Alexis, who is, people might know from Netflix's 13 Reasons Why, is her oldest daughter. And a group of goons, and I do mean goons, led by actor Billy Burke. They show up at her father's house. It's souped up with the best security system money can buy. And when the kids are taken hostage, mom has to try to break back in and kick some butt and rescue her children. This band of morons, these thieves in this film, are probably perhaps the dumbest burglars ever to grace the screen since Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern in Home Alone. I was just expecting, you know, paint cans to fly around and, you know, hit these guys in the face, or them to trip on marbles and things like that. But they act completely inexplicably. They're terrible at their jobs. They're not the only problem in this movie. The action, the suspense is really one note. You know, once she can't get in one door, you know, the rest of this movie seems to just kind of be tense music, you know, with shots of people walking through hallways and crying and things like that. There's just not much here to like. And then there are the plot issues. For example, the daughter has a cell phone, and she even refers to it in one scene, but then later in the movie, it would really come in handy to use this cell phone. Never comes up again the rest of the film. Again, the audience that I saw this with, there were people laughing out loud hysterically at moments that were not intended to be funny. Just that kind of a movie. But unlike a movie that I reviewed a couple weeks ago, Bad Samaritan, which was kind of like a bad movie that was enjoyable to watch, this is just a bad movie. But if you like the actors that are in this film, if you like this genre, you might find this entertaining enough to maybe check out and kind of unplug your mind, you know, for a little bit. That being said, I give Breaking In a C-. There's a few more films seeing release this weekend, like a documentary on Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's called RBG, as well as a buzzworthy drama called Disobedience. It stars Rachel McAdams and Rachel Weisz. You can find my full reviews of those films and others on access.com, that's AXS.com, or by following me on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, hit me up. It's at Tom Santilli. You can also go to the website movieshowplus.com and let's start a discussion about films. I've loved it so far. The show, we're on our 4th episode right now, and I'm getting lots of feedback from you guys out there, so I love it. Keep it going. But tell me what you guys think of the latest films, or if you want to talk about the Avengers still, that's totally fine too. Life of the Party in theaters this weekend. Breaking in theaters. Go see them. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Peace out. Till next time, we'll have Deadpool 2, Book Club, and a movie about the Pope. See you then.